In Nigeria, protesters have attacked and vandalized the head office of South African mobile phone giant MTN in Abuja. The move is apparently in retaliation for xenophobic violence in South Africa. The protesters stole equipment. Some customers too were attacked. Now, the incident coincided with a visit by MTN chairman Phuthuma Nhleko to the Nigerian capital. Nhleko was there to see Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who has been acting on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari. The attack is not the first of its kind. In 2015, the regional MTN office in Abuja was forced to shut down after irate youths also attacked it. Well, let's discuss these developments a little further now. We're joined live from South Africa by Human Rights Watch senior researcher Dewo Mavenga and CGTN's Sophia Adengo, live for us in Abuja. Sophia, let's start with you. It is no surprise that Nigerians are, of course, upset about what is happening in South Africa. One might have expected to see demonstrations outside the South African embassy, for instance. But just talk us through exactly what happened in Abuja today and why MTN became the target of people's frustrations.
Well, Lindy, late this afternoon, protesters, or what are known as anti-xenophobic protesters, stormed the South African telecommunications offices, the main ones here in the administrative capital, Abuja, really in what many critics are calling retaliatory actions towards xenophobic attacks towards Nigerians in South Africa, not just this past weekend, but over the last 12 months. There have been 116 registered extrajudicial killings of Nigerians, and this has been an ongoing concern not only for the Nigerian government, but also for citizens who have made South Africa, a mutual ground for business and other ventures. So today has seen really the culmination of a great deal of anxiety that we can say has existed between both countries, especially last year at this time, President Jacob Zuma coming to the country and really just trying to make sure that he would breathe new life, as he called it, with the relationship with Nigeria, although that has been strained with the current events. Lindy.
And Dewo, let's bring you in here. As of course Sophia suggests, this is going to strain relations between South Africa and Nigeria, despite the fact that the country, or South Africa's Home Affairs Minister, is trying to reassure people. The question remains, how did we get here once again?
Well, clearly the challenge is that South Africa has over the years not decisively dealt with xenophobic violence. So we have witnessed waves of violence over the years, including in 2008, where over 60 people were left dead. But there has been no accountability or justice. And also, the political leadership has used foreign nationals as an excuse for the failings, for example, in basic service delivery. So we have had on record senior officials of government making clearly, patently xenophobic statements, but with no accountability. So this is how we've gotten to where we are in recent weeks and months. We have had, including the Johannesburg Mayor, Herman Mashaba, making xenophobic statements, blaming crime on foreign nationals. But the reality is that the police should do their jobs, and crime has no nationality, and therefore, even for the media to try and peddle myths and falsehoods targeting foreign nationals, this is what then creates this festering environment in which xenophobic violence then occurs, because the government is not taking leadership, is not demonstrating through action that it does not condone xenophobic violence.
Sophia, just returning to you for a moment. Of course, this is all happening, or at least the protests that we've seen in Nigeria are taking place while the MTN chairman is actually visiting the country. Has the government there, the Nigerian government, issued any official statement on those attacks by protesters in Abuja?
Well, Lindy, what we have seen so far is not an outspoken statement, but rather the deployment of more police around the MTN main offices, and really, MTN sending home many of their staff members with the fear that perhaps they will experience attacks. Reports surfaced this afternoon of not only the persons that were working within the building being attacked, but also vandals confiscating equipment. So in the short term, the Nigerian police is containing the situation, and it's hoped that the Nigerian government will come out and speak on the matter rather quickly. Lindy.
And Dewa, just returning to you now, you mentioned a few stakeholders essentially that should be coming together to address xenophobia in South Africa. I mean, essentially, South Africa has seen this before, and South Africa has seen how ugly it can get. Why then is there sort of this dragging of one's feet to really truly discourage attacks against foreigners, not only on this occasion, but of course in the future too?
Well, clearly, there is lack of political will to decisively deal with xenophobia, because to begin with, no one should take the law into their own hands. But there is a sense that political leadership at various levels benefits from whipping up, xenophobic sentiments, because that's a convenient scapegoat or excuse for failings. And therefore, there is a reluctance to take measures to eradicate xenophobia. For example, it's very easy to have accountability and justice. So look, for the almost 100 people who have been killed in xenophobic violence, there hasn't been any accountability. Why? Because the government is not willing to do what it takes. And the police should step in. There is no excuse for crime. There shouldn't be any crime by a foreign national or locals. But it is the duty of the police to do that. So when people take the law into their own hands, it becomes chaotic. What is needed is to have law and order, and for the government of South Africa to take leadership and say and correct the falsehoods about foreign nationals, because that is also something that is stoking the fires of xenophobia.
Right, indeed. Many people have an important role to play there. Thank you so much for those insights. Dewa Mavenga joining us there from Johannesburg, and CGTN's Sophia Dengo from Abuja.